Good morning, dear students. Okay, let us continue the same lesson that we had learned yesterday, that is Babar Ali by Samarpita Mukherjee Sharma. So, dear students, we have studied the introductory part of this chapter. And now we have understood the boy Babar Ali, and from whom we got this information, or we got introduced this boy Babar Ali, and who are the people who held responsible in bringing this literature, bringing this information to the media, or to the to everybody that we are studying, reading about Babar Ali here. So we should salute those people, Samarpita M. Sharma, and for the first time who has brought and collected the information about a youth leader volunteer, Mr. Tanveer from Bangladesh. So we should thank him, because it is one of the inspirational chapter, inspirational aim or a challenge that every reader of this particular extract or story or an article will insist the readers here, will create a kind of enthusiastic spirit among especially the youth, the young generation of today as such. So that is why, so it is a message, a strong message to the young generation of this day or present day, that one has to see, read and understand Babar Ali here. At the very young age of 16 years, he became the world's youngest headmaster So which has been a record, which has been a record of today, record of the time of that day when he became. And people around the world knew that he was the youngest headmaster. So he was there in all sorts of newspapers and media throughout the world at that time when Samarpita and Tanveer brought this particular news information about Babar Ali. So now we have studied a few features, characters of Babar Ali in the previous class, and we have studied about his chorus, and we have studied the very nature and his behavior in his village as well as in the college where he is studying as a class 12th student. Okay, and we have seen how hardworking he is, how struggling he is to go to his college, that is, Qasim Bajar Raj Govinda Sundari Vidyapith. He has to walk 10 miles per day to and fro to reach his college. From his village he has to take an auto and go there and get down from there, and he has to walk 5 kilometers to the school. And again to leave after his college hours, again he has to walk 5 kilometers to the place where he gets an auto rickshaw to reach his village. So all these points were known to us because we have studied yesterday, and today as we studied that this extract or article is divided into sub-headings here, and the first one is welcome to Babar Ali's school. Yes, this is one. Okay. Welcome to Babar Ali's school. So let us see how is Babar Ali's school. Okay, dear students, it is a dilapidated concrete structure covered in half-tone posters. Inside, in a tiny dank room behind a desk, sits someone even the Queen of England knows by name, and you should too. See, the author here exclaims. He expresses a kind of surprise here, exclamation here, that this boy of 16 years, Babar Ali's name was known to the world as of that day was concerned. See the place where he teaches. See the way his school was in those days. See where he has made up his mind to teach the poor children of his village. It is a dilapidated concrete structure covered in half-tone posters inside, in a tiny dank room. Behind there is a desk. It's an old a place where there are few concrete structures, constructed old, and some of them have fallen, and it is completely dilapidated. Means it's already worn out. Everything became older and broken here and there, and there were posters. Some of the posters were torn off, and some of them were like that only. Maybe some people for advertisement or for some one or the other thing they have posted on to those structures there. Okay, the fallen and some structures still stood on those walls. And inside this there is a dank means a dark, dirty room where you don't find light or any electricity over there, and behind which there is a desk, and where Babar Ali sits and takes a class where he teaches and controls the students inside it. And it's someone even the Queen of England knows by name, and you should also. Yes, even the name of this boy was known to the Queen of England, means it's known to the world at that time, because he has created a record, a history by becoming a headmaster at the age of 16. So he was called as the world's youngest headmaster. So that is why they say even the Queen of England knows the name of Babar Ali and his venture of teaching the poor students, children in his village. So that is what Babar Ali was. Babar Ali's journey started. And then Behind the office is a gate that opens to Baba's home. This is where rows of poor, underprivileged kids sit under the open blue sky and learn what most children in the modern world pay hundreds of dollars for free. Yes. See, the author is trying to compare the situation during those days where the rich people used to pay the high fees to the schools and get the education here. But when he compares to Babar Ali's, the people of his village can't afford to pay to the school to get education for their children here. Okay, they never even insisted. They never even liked to send. Not like, it is not possible for them because they are very poor, downtrodden, they are struggling to live. So that is what the economical condition of the people in that village. So now, and behind this, there is an office and gate that opens to Baba's home. Yes. So just behind this school of Babar Ali, and you just directly go towards that, so you will see a gate where it is a way or a way opens to Babar Ali's home. And this is where the rows of poor, underprivileged kids sit under the open blue sky and learn what most children in the modern world pay hundreds of dollars for free as such. Yes. So it is an open place. There is no particular building, a standard building. So no infrastructure, no facilities as how the rich children, students study in the modern buildings. And it is an open atmosphere where the students were made to sit on the ground and listen to the classes here. And it is that kind of classroom that he had. And there are rows of poor students who are underprivileged, downtrodden, very poor, and they sat on the ground, okay, in rows as such. As how we find the students sit in our classroom and study, so in the same way the Babar Ali students were sitting in a row on the bare ground as such. Then this is where 800 kids who are deprived, this is where 800 kids who are deprived from their basic right for education walk miles to learn, free of cost, the basics and fundamentals of life. Yes, so the number of students that were entered their names or attending the school of Babar Ali it is 800 students. Remember, 800 students in Babar Ali's classroom. And these 800 students walk towards Babar Ali school without paying any fee or anything else, free of cost. And Babar used to teach them every day from afternoon. This is where 800 kids who are deprived from getting basic education. These students were deprived from getting the basic education. Why? Because of the economical conditions that they were in. The parents cannot afford to pay spend money on to their children's education as such, because it is difficult for them to live. And in such a situation, how can a parent send his child to the school? So that is why they are deprived, poor, backward people who can't send their children to the school. So it is such kind of students. So they were 800 in number, attends Babar Ali's classes or goes to school every day. Then it was the basics of education and fundamentals of life were taught in the beginning to the students by Babar Ali. What were the topics that he taught? Basics of education, and then fundamentals of life. Were taught to these students here. Imagine Babar Ali's decision in taking the responsibility and teaching them the basics of education and the fundamentals of life for these people. Dear students, he has taken a right step here because these things are very much important for the child to come up or to practice or to become a just cope himself with the other students, or to make up his mindset to concentrate on the teachings here. And if he knows the fundamentals of life, the prerequisites of life, or basic requirements of life, then he will come to know that it is necessary for him to have education. So he wanted to create a kind of awareness in these students by teaching basics of education and fundamentals of life here. Isn't it? Is he right? Yes, he is right. And imagine the knowledge and the awareness of this boy, prescribing or selecting and teaching about these subjects to these students. So let's take a minute over here and think, while we whine about our allowances and it's not clear. Fuss about staying out late, this average boy from a small village is actually helping to make this world a better place. Yes. See, today, if you just think about this boy and think about him for a minute, then we feel that we are all worried about our daily allowances, and we feel really fuss about staying out late. But think of this young boy, Babar Ali, who has taken the responsibility of helping these poor students, and meanwhile helping to make this world a better place. So it's an extraordinary step, that responsibility that Babar Ali has taken here. So that makes us feel wonder, surprise about this boy, because we were worried about ourselves, about our business, about our life, about our money, property and allowances, expenditures as such. But here, Babar Ali never ever thought about himself and about the money that he is going to spend on these poor students' education, everything. So he has not turned back or stepped back in this decision of educating these underprivileged students here. Then today, all around the world where millions of children are being deprived from literacy because their families cannot bear the expenses. This is one school. This one schoolboy from India is trying to change that. And so at the age of 16, Babar Ali is the world's youngest headmaster. So today, all over the world, there were millions of students and children who are deprived from basic education today. Okay, the world has so many such poor children who are deprived or away from literacy or education because their families cannot bear the expenses of their children's education. But here is, look at the boy, Babar Ali, at the age of 16 years, he has decided to teach that underprivileged people, students, children, and he has challenged and completely responsible to teach them the basics of education and fundamentals of life, and to make their lives colorful, brighter in their future. And he is trying to change the map of the country as such. And thus, he became the youngest headmaster at the age of 16 years. So now, we will move on to the next part here, means the same heading, under the same heading. Babar happens to be one of the fortunate souls in his village. In the Babta neighborhood of Gangapur village in West Bengal's Murshidabad, Babar lives with his 3 siblings and his parents in a thatched house which is the size of an average city kitchen. And imagine the village where he belongs to is a Gangapur. Remember the name here, Gangapur village, yeah? And which is the district here, Murshidabad. It's Murshidabad district, and West Bengal is the state he belongs. So dear students, where did Babar Ali born, or which village he belongs to? It is Gangapur. In which district of West Bengal you find Gangapur? In Murshidabad district. And which is the state Babar Ali belongs to? It is West Bengal. See, for 1 mark questions, you need to study these things. So this is exactly from where Babar Ali was. And see, it is a village Gangapur, and now we have the information about his place, his family, as such. Babar happens to be one of the fortunate souls in his village. He was lucky to be the member of that particular village. Why? In the Babta neighborhood of Gangapur village in West Bengal's Murshidabad, Babar lives with his 3 siblings and his parents in a thatched house which is the size of an average city kitchen. Imagine the place, or where these people are living. It is a thatched house constructed with some sticks, leaves as such. It is not a concreted building, cement building, or what we call as such. And he has 3 siblings. And among them, he was the only luckiest person or boy to have education here. And everybody in the village loves Babar Ali because of his character, conduct, and the attitude, relationship with these people, behavior with the people of that village. That is why we call him as a fortunate soul of that village. And they live in a thatched house. And did you imagine the size of the village or the house that they are living? It's almost the size of a city picture. Today's, city's picture. So that is the area in which these people, 3 siblings and his parents were living in that house. So it is the condition, economical condition of Babar Ali here. In such a poor condition, who has experienced a lot of difficulties, problems in such a family, and with the poverty, and he has struggled and understood the pains of poor people, having all such things, he has made up his mind courageously and started a school for these underprivileged students. So now, in such a position, Babar has taken up the responsibility of educating, education to these underprivileged, poor class students in his village. And dear students, yet ironically, he is still among the privileged ones in his village, because unlike most children there, he went to school and got formal education. He was better off also in being the son of Nasiruddin Sheikh, who is a jute seller and a dropout, who believes that education is man's true religion, and who initially supported his son's venture with his own income. Coming from a privileged family, Babar realized he must do something for the other children in this village. So, this is the family and the total condition of Babar Ali's family here. His siblings and father. Nasiruddin Sheikh is a jute seller and who has all the support to his son's business or venture here. And he believes that Nasiruddin Sheikh, education is man's true religion. What did he say? Education is man's true religion, is said. See what a meaningful, saying, an opinion of Babar Ali's father, that is Nasiruddin Sheikh. Then so Babar Ali's family. So from such a privileged family, Babar Ali has taken up his responsibility. And see, being a father, Nasiruddin Sheikh, he encouraged his son he supported his son's decision of running a school, and he added help or support by sharing some of his income to Babar Ali's venture, and this was a thing or encouragement and support that he got from his father Nasruddin Sheikh. And he is also well aware of life and the poverty, and he knows the position and the conditions of the poor, underprivileged people in his village, and where he also reacts to his son's decisions, and even he supports him. And this is what we find or we know about his family members and his conditions, and what was the background of Babar Ali as such. So it is not such a very rich family or that he has come from. He is a normal and somewhat privileged, because so his father used to earn by jute selling, selling the jute as such, because clothes and all, and he has to go around the villages for his business. Okay, among that we had a little land where even he used to supply some rice to the students or school of Babar Ali here. And their students, then coming to the next paragraph here, even though children are provided free education, sending children to school is not entirely free of cost. Although the children are taught for free, they still have to pay for uniforms, books, etc. That is why a lot of families cannot afford to send their children to school. Thus, instead of going to school, most of the boys help out their families by working as mechanics, day laborers, grass cutters, livestock herders, etc. Whereas girls work as maid servants in the village, where they cook, clean, wash clothes and dishes for their employers. Babar Ali wanted to change this. That is why he took the initiative of opening his very own school here. So now we come to know that why did Babar Ali has taken such an initiation, such a daring, adventurous, challenging step in his life to educate these underprivileged, poor children of his village. Every child, but all the children of these poor classes, they were engaged in one or the other job here, in which they are not supposed to, because they are very small. And most of the children in these families are suffering and having no education. There is no support from their parents as well, because they are poor, because they can't spend for their educations, uniforms, books and other utensils as such. Even though if they get free education from government sector, government schools as such, it is difficult for them to pay for uniforms and other books, notebooks as such, or otherwise they have to take care of the expenditure on the travels. Say traveling to school, because the government schools were situated at longer distances, where they have to arrange at least some auto rickshaws, such things for their children, and even they were not ready to do that because they are poor. They can't do it at all. And all these things were studied by Babar Ali. He knows that they can't sin. And after that, see how he has observed keenly the conditions of these underprivileged, poor people of his village. And so that is the reason lot of families in his village cannot afford to send their children to school. Thus, instead of going to school, most of these boys and girls, small boys and girls, help out their families. So by working as mechanics in the garages, day laborers, grass cutters in the fields, and livestock herders, etc. The small boys used to do or engage in such works. And whereas the girls, the small girls, work as maid servants in the village, where they used to cook, clean, wash clothes and dishes for their employees, and they were helping their mothers. And when he saw these things carried out by these small children in his village, he made up his mind and he wanted to change this condition. So that is the reason why Babar took the initiative of opening his own school in his village. See, if you study, observe, understand the situation and the condition of your locality, the place where you are living, and if you study the environment, so you can extract, you can find out what is happening in and around you. And if you study the life of these people here, poor people, really you will be educating yourself, that you are going to expose with the reality of life in the world, that you will learn more, that you will gain responsibilities, that you will be mature up in your thinking and knowledge as such. So it is the same kind of attitude that the Babar Ali had here. When he had the patience or peace of mind to study the conditions of these underprivileged people, when he, in that particular age of 16 or 15 years, he has studied the conditions of those small boys and girls, so you can think of the mentality and the knowledge and the interest of Babar Ali here. So that is why, my dear students, have this experience, have this knowledge, because we are human beings. The whole mankind needs the essence of life like Babar Ali. There is a value for the life of Babar Ali, during which in such a small age he has so much of matured behavior to the difficulties, problems, sufferings of other people. Imagine today what kind of life we are leading, what kind of understanding that we have towards our society and the poor or the underprivileged people. Did we have any care or time to think about such lifestyles as of today? Till today, we are seeing such lifestyles. As we have the advancement, the globalization, we have the poverty is also equal to that which is prevailed in today's life. Isn't it? If you look at the lifestyle in the slums of big cities of India or of world. So you can't imagine, and you can't compare these things, these kind of lifestyles still existing in such an advanced age or era of modern or contemporary period. But dear students, the way Babar Ali thinks, the way he studies the problem, the way he has the patience to observe and listen to them, and he is getting a peace of mind from these kind of observations as such. The way his heart responds to such a cold, difficult situations here really makes us feel proud of Babar Ali here. Because it is the age that matters. It is not the aim of Babar Ali fixed at to achieve, and he doesn't want to make money here by starting or beginning a school of his own as such. He don't want his name to be announced throughout the world or known to the world here. What did he expect? He wants the sufferings of these underprivileged, poor class people and children. And he wanted them to have basic education. Basics of education and fundamentals of life. Because if a person or a man or a child gets such an understanding, such an awareness or knowledge about these subjects, he can lead his life happily. He can, help our society to grow better or to make it a healthy one as such. Or he can lead a somewhat self-contented life as such. So there lies the importance, my dear students. Where? It is not that if you become rich or if you have more property, that will be not a fully self-contented life as such. The Babar Ali never wants these poor children to become big rich business magnates as such or rich people as such. He wanted them to have basics of education. He wanted them to make literarians. He wanted them to achieve this literacy there. So then by making educated, he wanted them to lead happy and a good life as such. Thus, this is the aim of this boy. He wanted to come out of those very poor, underprivileged lifestyles. He can't see the pathetic condition, difficult conditions of these children working in such a small age as mechanics in the garages, laborers, grass cutters, or anything like that. He don't want to see these small girls washing dishes, clothes in rich class people's houses as such. And he don't want to see them cooking as such. So this is what the aim of understanding of Babar Ali here. See the experience of Babar Ali here. See the education that he has, understanding that he has. So it makes us feel wonder. It makes us feel really proud of this boy, Babar Ali. Once again, I'll just repeat this part of the paragraph text here is because it is a very important information that one has to narrate whole thing when the question deals with this part here. Thus, instead of going to school, most of the boys help out their families by working as mechanics, in garages, and laborers, grass cutters, livestock herders, etc. And whereas girls work as maid servants in the village where they cook, clean and wash clothes and dishes for their employers. Babar Ali wanted to change this lifestyle of these people, and that is why he took the initiative of opening the very new school in his own village as such. So this is the decision, and this is the aim that he sets hereafter, Babar Ali, and he wanted to give these class of people, children, free education here. He wanted to make them educated so that they can construct or form their own better, happy life and lead a better life in future as such. So by achieving this, not only the people, village, it is a great change when you take the whole country. If our country has much more villages like this, if there is one Babar Ali in each village of Indian villages, each village of India, and there you can achieve 100% literacy rate there, isn't it? So, we say in Kannada a proverb, honey goodidare halla te helbiಟ್ಟು, isn't it? So it is that if every individual tries to do or share his social work as Babar Ali did, and it's enough for a nation like India to achieve 100% literacy rate. When there is a 100% literacy in the country, I don't think you will find more of poverty in the nation. When once a country achieves the complete literacy 100 out of 100, then the poverty line of the country reduces, decreases. The standard of living of all the people in India is going to increase. And hence, there will be understanding in the people, awareness in the people to spend their earnings economically for the purposes they wanted. And everything, not only money. And he will be knowing the knowledge or is aware of using our natural resources sparingly, economically. Hence, we can preserve, conserve more natural resources or save our natural resource from such kind of wastage as such. So, dear students, it is such a development will help our nation to be advanced, to be happier, to be healthy and sound in all the aspects of the life. So that is why whoever reads Babar Ali's life here, or biography, or the information, and about the adventurous life that he is leading, really feel proud of it. So we have to hats off to Babar Ali here. Yes. Dear students, we are going to stop today's class here. So we have seen how and the conditions of Babar Ali's school here. And okay, we will stop here. Till then, take care. Bye. Have a nice day.